Okay, welcome back. And our guest this time is Chief Okoye Obono Obla, legal practitioner, writer, and APC chieftain. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Good morning to you, Chief.
Good morning.
Thank you for making time for us. The Niger Delta Development Commission. It looks like I've been seeing messages of gratitude, congratulations among themselves, and we're talking here about the constitution of a new NDDC board. What's the reason? What's the reason for? Because people have taken out space in papers. What's the reason for the happiness, so to speak? It was going to happen. It should happen, and it has happened. But then it has been championed. The very constitution of the boards by the president has been championed as, oh, good, great stuff. Thank you very much, Mr. President. What are the matters that are arising from this?
Well, it's for us in Crossover State, it is a sad commentary.
Okay.
And we are completely discouraged. Okay. Yeah, we are completely discouraged because we fought so hard. The APC, and we were able to get more than 33% for President Bola Tinubu. But the representative of NDDC, one Asu Okang, is a PDP man. He's not even a moderate PDP man. I will call him an extremist. And he has been foisted on us, despite the fact that we have a governor who was elected under the platform of APC. We elected 2 senators out of 3. We elected 5 members of the House of Reps. The Cross River State House of Assembly has 18 APC members. So Cross River State is an APC state in all ramifications. And indeed, the leader of the APC in the South-South geopolitical zone is supposed to be the Governor Basi Ededu, who is the governor of Cross River State, the only APC governor in the South-South geopolitical zone. But we are now forced with a PDP man who was nominated by somebody who is not from Cross River State. And I think that is very disrespectful to our governor. And I think it's calculated to undermine his authority and his position, his leadership of APC in the South-South. So we are discouraged. And yes, the Calabar was rocked by protests by APC members, on why a PDP extremist, somebody was insulting our national leader, President Bola Tinubu, in Twitter, Facebook, and other social media, platforms during the election. So, and in his local government area where he comes from, it's not an oil-producing state area. If you look at the law, Section 2(1), A to Roman figure 1 to 9, it is clearly stipulated that the representative, that is a commissioner from each state, must come from an oil-producing area, not an oil-producing state, oil-producing area. That is the word used by the lawmaker of the NDDC Act. And this guy is from a Tung local government area in central Cross River State. The oil-producing areas of Cross River State are Bakassi, Odukpani, and Akpabio local government areas. So we are wondering why that should be. And this guy was also in the forefront on the onslaught on APC members during the last presidential, governorship election, state assembly election, national assembly election. All our members from that local government area where the PDP governorship candidate comes from were brutally, assaulted. They even went to the extent of expelling our members from the village of the PDP, governorship candidate, Senator Sandy Ono. All the APC members were expelled. Using the traditional institutions in the village to expel them because they were supporting our incumbent governor, Governor Basio too. So we are surprised at why that should happen.
Oh, all right then. Well, thank you very much, Chief. So the other comment I would have sort of offered tentatively is that, look, we're talking about the Development Commission here. It's not a partisan affair. only one person can occupy, the seat, so to speak. But the way you've framed it, it has become almost partisan. Yet whoever is in charge cannot not serve all the other areas. After all, one man can't be from all of the areas that are indeed qualified. So it's a bit, I don't know, do you see it from that point? Is it possible? Is it possible to also see it from that point of view?
Partly, you can see it from that point of view. But what is politics? Who gets what, when, and how? So if you cannot remove partisanship from governance, from politics, that is why we have political parties. What are political parties? Political parties are people of the same political persuasion and ideas coming together to form a platform in order to win elections, to take over government. So you cannot remove completely, detached politics, partisanship from governance. We are talking about the democracy, whether in America, whether in the UK, whether in India, you must have a platform. And that is why one of the constitutional requirements for the president to contest election is that he must belong to a political platform. For a governor to contest an election, he must belong to a political platform. For all elective positions, to be eligible to contest, the condition precedent that you must belong to a political platform that is registered by INEC, vested with the powers to sponsor candidates for election. If you do not have, if you don't have a platform, you cannot contest any election in Nigeria. So you cannot, say that this is about governance, this is not about politics. Sure, it's about governance. It's also about politics. It is intertwined. They go hand in hand.
So, well, clearly, you would have been, a lot happier, not just you, but also people from the region as well, if, because you've explained how you think that the Cross River area has been hard done by in not getting as much as you feel, going by results, for example. This is how politicians sometimes calculate their chances as to whether they will emerge. Going by what you say has been your contribution from your region to the success of the emerged administration, they should have got better. Specifically, what areas would you say the actual grievances are in?
Well, our grievances are very clear. We work very hard. Cross River State is part of the former Eastern Nigeria. And P2B is Anambra. So the sentiments were there, okay? But we work very hard to sell our president, our dear president, President Bola Tinubu, because Cross Riverians, or those of us in APC, we felt he was the best of all the presidential candidates. So we should be rewarded after working hard to deliver, him, because the campaign was very difficult. As I've mentioned that P2B is from an area that forms part of the Eastern region, which Cross River State was part of. So the sentiments were there, quite boom, and you can see the result. We were able to muster about 30-something% for President Bola Tinubu. The same equally in Akwa Ibom State. So I think we should be rewarded. We should be encouraged so that next time we'll do better. Because PDP has been under the conservative, political circles for a very long time, since 1999, the exception of democracy. So this is the first time we, the progressive, are taking over the state. So we have to be encouraged in terms of appointments. Every politician wants to be rewarded. After working hard, delivering a candidate, you should be rewarded. In as much as the government has to be inclusive, but so setting appointments, they should be reserved for members of the political party that have delivered votes. So if you do that, you encourage people to work harder.
Okay, I hear you, Chief. And let me just bring in Christopher. Christopher has called in from Warri in Delta State. Good morning, Christopher.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, because I just, like what your guest is saying in Abuja.
Yes.
Your guest in Abuja, First of all, I'm Mr. Christopher, speaking from Delta State, Wari.
Okay.
I am a coordinator of Tinubu Shetima for Good Governance Delta State chapter. Actually, like what the chief is saying on your studio, you see similar thing is playing out on all the support group in Nigeria that supported Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because we know very well, during that electionary period, some of us paid a lot of money during when Emefiele decided not to release did his cash crops. We know what we passed through. So it's an eyesore. You see somebody like we, as coordinators, various state coordinators, what we are putting in for this government to come. There's somebody from PDP who were battling in the battlefield, threatening jail at there. Our people will be assaulted from different angles. There's somebody who is not, we have some videos for those who will get this government for the ab initio. So we seen them leaping for where they did not sow. It's an eyesore. 2027 is around the corner. So there's a paper way, even in Bible, it's stated there, give what belongs to Caesar, and what belongs to God, to God. APC is a progressive party. So people should remind our president that people work for this government and they should not leave them behind. Like the chief that is on your studio, look at what he's saying. In Cross River State, how can such fellow be given a position where it is not planted? Can somebody be working in vain in Nigeria? So this reward system, if it is not there, we are talking about insecurity in Nigeria. What causes insecurity? When you are not tackling the real issue on ground. Don't say big insecurity. Please, let's send a message to our president and to our party and to the party in question, the APC. I think the president should be working in synergy with the national chairman of the party. Any program they are having, the party have an ideology. They should not depart from it in order to keep the party intact. So thank you very much. May God bless Chief on the studio. May God continue to bless APC and bless Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he did a good job in Lagos. I would believe the same good job we have in the New Hope, which we are still waiting to see. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christopher, for calling in. And, Chief heard all of that. But, Chief, again, there is the whole matter about these things, as you know, would not have been done out of hand. They would have been done following, wide consultation. I mean, that's just the way politicians work. They would have done their consultations. And at the end of the day, I've heard what you have said. Christopher, who called in, is, saying that exactly. He entirely endorses how you put it. But there's this whole matter, too, isn't there, of a governance of government of cohesion, participatory governance. Nobody need be shut out. There are those considerations. I know that just having listened to you, you might not be too sympathetic towards that, but it is a factor, isn't it? It is still a factor.
Yeah, well, I believe in inclusivity. It's one of the ingredients of democracy. But, even in law, to every general rule, there must be an exception. If you pack appointments in one particular local government area, that is not inclusivity. Let me tell you, the nominee for NDDC from Cross River State is from a local government area in the Central Senatorial District of Cross River State. The name of the local government area is Etung. The Minister for Social Development, Senator John Owaneno, is from that local government area. So our Secretary to Government is also from that local government area. And, to take the NDDC representative to that local government area, again, is a violation of the federal character principle. That is why I started with saying that if the law was followed to the letter, that representative should come from the Southern Senatorial District of Cross River State, which is the oil-producing area of Cross River State, not Central Senatorial District. The Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Beta Edu, is also from Central Cross River State. I am from Central Cross River State, but it is an injustice to appoint a representative of Cross River State NDDC from the Central Senatorial District of Cross River State. That is not inclusivity. That is a violation of the federal character principle. Don't overload one particular area to the detriment of other areas. If you do that, you are creating tensions that can affect governance, that can affect the people, because the Northern Senatorial District will feel that you're not carrying it along. The Southern Senatorial District will feel that you're not carrying it along. Don't overload the Central Senatorial District. I am from the Central Senatorial District, but as a Nigerian, as a Democrat, as a patriot, I think it is wrong to overload the Central Senatorial District.
Okay, well, indeed. And
if my governor, who is a very experienced politician, he was a senator for 4 years, he was in the House of Representatives for 8 years. If my governor was consulted, he wouldn't have advised that the Central Senatorial District should be overloaded. He wouldn't have advised that we should have an appointee from a 2 local government area where the Minister for Social Development is from. He should have another representative from the Central, where we have 2 ministers, Dr. Betta Edu, Senator John Awaneno from the Central Senatorial District. The governor was not consulted. And it is wrong, because I said earlier that the governor of Cross River State is an APC governor, and he is supposed to be the leader of APC in the South-South geopolitical zone. And we feel that some forces are undermining the governor. They are undermining the people of Cross River State. And this influence is coming from outside. And I believe the man who nominated Aswakan is the former governor of River State, His Excellency Wike. And we feel very angry, because River State used to be part of the former Eastern region. River State was created in 1967 from the former Eastern region. Cross River State was created, in 1967. Cross River State, present Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, it was known as the Southeastern State. And we think that people from River State, politicians from River State, should leave Cross River State alone. Because when we were fighting for the creation of Calabar Ogoja River State from Eastern region, it were leaders from Akwa Ibom and Cross River State who did that fighting. So why are River State politicians trying to undermine the people of Cross River State? Because they think they have more oil money than us. That is what they have been doing. And it's insulting for somebody from outside Cross River State to influence the appointment of our NDDC representative, not our governor, who is supposed to be the leader of APC in the South-South.
Okay, one moment, Chief. Let me bring in Kennedy now. Kennedy has called in from Ife. Good morning, Kennedy.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I'd like to make my contributions to the issue of the NDDC appointment.
Sure.
Now, I listened to the argument being advanced by Chief Okoye-Ogonobla, and I want to pick a few issues with his argument, especially with respect to the point that he made about the NDDC Act. And the fact that the NDDC Act had indicated or had the provision is such that the person who is to be appointed into the board of the NDDC should come from the oil producing area. I want to make the point clearly that the last chairman of the board of the NDDC was Senator Victor Noegba. Senator Victor Noegba is from Ikon local government. Ikon local government is not an oil producing area, same as a 2 local government. How did Senator Victor Noegba become the chairman of NDDC at the time? Secondly, the governorship position of Cross River State is far bigger than any other. In fact, 10 NDDC appointments, even 100 NDDC appointments cannot be compared to the position that the Southern Senatorial District is holding with respect to the NDDC. How can anybody now make the point that the position of the NDDC board chairman should then be added to the Southern Senatorial District that has a governor? Why are we not making the point? If Okoye is making the point that the NDDC, that because the Central Selectoral District has John Owaneno and Betedu as ministers, and so the position should go to the South. Why is he not making the point that the position should then go to another Selectoral District that does not, as we speak, that does not have any position, any significant position at the federal level? In fact, as a matter of fact, before now, the argument or the permutation was such that the former governor, Ben Alade, was going to be the chairman of NDDC. That was the rumor that we were hearing and all of that. And I need to be clear that what you're seeing, or what is happening now, is just the elite trying to fight to corner the spoils of office or spoils of their political battles to themselves. It has nothing to do with the people of Cross River State. It has nothing to do with, how power should be shared. It has nothing to do with where the position should go to. Because, like I had punctured this argument about the position of the fact that Chief Victor Nyongba, who was NDDC chairman, the former NDDC chairman, was not from the oil producing area. He was from Ikom local government. In Ikom and from Ikom, we don't have oil in Ikom. They do the same thing that he mentioned. So why are we then making the point that the NDDC chairmanship position should not be in Etung, it should never be in Bakassi?
All right. I want to thank you. Thank you very much. I gave you all that time, just so that we could get you clearly. And I'm sure Chief Okoye Obono Obla also got you clearly. What would you say to, Kennedy?
Well, that, with due respect to him, is Badadash. That is point. Yes, Victor Ndomegba, Senator Victor Ndomegba, SAN, is to Ikom local government area. Ikom local government area is not an oil-producing area. But the fact that Senator Victor Ndomegba was appointed chairman from a non-oil-producing area does not make it right. So all what we are saying, good governance has to do with obeying the law to the letter. Where the law has made a certain provision, that provision has to be followed. That procedure has to be followed. That process has to be followed. So if Victor Ndomegba's appointment was not right, that does not, shouldn't make a wrong thing to be right this time around. Because we expect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to correct some of the mistakes that is, the person he took over made. So, which is adherence to the rule of law, which he has promised. He is a Democrat to the core. He was one of the people who fought for the return of democracy to Nigeria. And when he was governor of Lagos State, he was known for fighting the federal government over breach of the Constitution. So in his administration, we expect adherence to the rule of law. Two wrongs cannot make a right, okay? We are talking about oil-producing area, and we are saying that the local government area where this nominee comes from is overloaded. We are saying that this man was an extremist who was abusing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was insulting APC leaders, insulting the party. And if you reward him now, you are sending a very, very wrong signal to the membership of the party in Cross River State, to the people of Cross River State, that disloyalty can be rewarded. It is wrong. There is no reason, there's no justification. If they want to appoint an NDDC representative from that local government area, they should be an APC person. It's not a PDP person who fought us ruthlessly, in a very brutal manner, brutalized our supporters in that local government area, subjected them to forced imprisonment. Okay? A lot of them were wounded. I'm not just making allegations. I was appointed a sole administrator to investigate all the violation of human rights that were meted to our APC supporters in Cross River State by PDP. And that guy was found wanting, was one of the people that my committee established that was responsible for the brutal attacks on APC members. So that is what we are saying.
I hear you. All right. I suppose now, because it concerns you directly, one can understand how you feel, especially looking at your office. You are a chieftain of APC, and you've stated what you've said, that it was a very brutal, there's sort of a journey.
Yes, it was a very brutal campaign because they were very certain that we were going to win. So they had to, resort to, violence and also self-help. We suffered. We had more than 88 of our members were wounded, and we had a lot of deaths in particular local government area. Also in that particular local government area, two local government area where Asu Okan, it comes from, and fingers have been pointed at him that he was the stormtrooper who led all the violence that were visited on APC members in that local government area. So it is not fair that you should pick that kind of a person, and appoint him. You can appoint a moderate guy because we want to carry everybody along. We want an inclusive government, but not an extremist. Who see politics as a do-or-die battle. Politics shouldn't be a do-or-die battle. Okay. When we are campaigning, we should use soft language. We should fight as brothers, so that when we finish the war, we can sit down on the same table and take a bottle of beer together. But when you go outside the boundaries of civility and begin to see your political opponent as an enemy that you want to exterminate, then you are no longer a politician. You are something else.
Okay, then, and well, you're a lawyer, so you know best that people like us have to use the word allegation. Those things that you alleged that where he was responsible for, they are there. But there's also the other aspect. If this administration has decided to appoint, critics, some of its virulent critics, to office, not just making it entirely an APC affair. You alluded to this before, that yes, there's a space for that kind of an idea in the conversation, but you still feel that, in fact, you almost feel cheated. You almost feel cheated out of your due, out of your just due, considering how hard you had worked. But if we take everything that you said, apart from the criminal ones about killing people and all of that, that he was a critic, that he was using rough language, and that he's not, more importantly, that he's not from your party, yeah, all of that is indeed as it is. But the president here is, since he signs off on it, there's a sense in which he has appointed even critics, and it wouldn't be that here would be the first time when you look at it globally, the global substance of his appointments so far. Some critics have also made appointments list. Surely that is not something that is unimportant. It's just that, well, since it came to my domot here, I feel the pinch, and I am saying that we feel hard done by, and that we need to be, because it has been done now. It has been done. And the development, as I pointed out, in the NDDC will not be only to specific areas. I'm sure everybody is going to be watching like a hawk, and it must be seen to be spread around the areas of the Niger Delta Commission.
Well, I am an apostle of good governance, and as I said before, good governance is intertwined with promotion of inclusivity in government. I am not adverse or I'm not opposed to the president appointing members of the opposition. Last week, I even wrote an article justifying that, because whenever you have a national crisis, it's always like what we are coming from. Economic crisis, severe economic crisis, and there's a lot of divisions in the country as a result of what happened in the, from 2015 to 2023. Then it's good that you should try to bring in people who are, outside your party into governance. And we have seen that. A lot of ministers were not APC members. I'm not adverse to that. But in this particular case, since Cross River State is an APC state, if they wanted to appoint people from River State who did not vote for APC or there's no sitting governor, fine. But we have a sitting governor in Cross River State. All we are saying that they should have respect for our governor. Our governor should not be undermined. When they want to do appointments at the center, our governor should be consulted as a leader of the party. He is in the best position to advise. Because
have you made representations?
Was consulted,
have you made representations to the governor I beg your pardon, Chief. Have you made representations to the governor to hear his take on this? I was just wondering.
The governor spoke. We spoke yesterday, and the governor is very agitated. He's very aggrieved. He thinks that there are some forces in Abuja trying to undermine him. Okay? Because yesterday he had to address demonstrators who thronged the government house, Calabar, to protest. It was a massive protest. If people are happy, they will not protest. Okay? I have mentioned the character of this guy who is seen to be an extremist. If he was a moderate PDP member, maybe the protest wouldn't have been as strong as what we saw in Calabar yesterday. The governor was there, and the governor says, look, if he's going to discuss with the president, that he feels the president is a shrewd administrator, an astute administrator, that the president will not allow that. Because we have to reward party members who work hard. If they want to appoint NDDC members from Rivers State or Delta, then from PDP, they can go ahead, but not crossover state. I've mentioned that we have 18 members in the House of Assembly of 25 members.
Indeed,
we have 2 senators. We have 5 members in the House of Representatives and the governor. And we gave the president more than 33% votes in the election.
All right.
That was very difficult.
All right.
Because PTOB was coming from our backyard, you know.
Thank you very much, Chief. Well, indeed, I want to thank you for taking time out to let us know exactly how some members of APC, especially in the area that we're talking about, feel about this whole matter. Thank you very much for coming on and letting us know that. Well, it has been done, but you're not happy about it, and I'm sure also APC leadership is hearing all of this as well. I want to thank you because now people know who are not close to the issue, how people are feeling about, what other people are happy about. Thank you very much, Chief Okoye Obono Obla. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, then. So